All right. That's what I have for today. I'm going to open it up for Q&A.
Excellent. So we do have a couple questions that have gathered here right at the end. So let's see. Two questions from Guy at Signals AZ. Title is important in SEO with Google. How do tags and keywords tie in?
Okay. So the most important thing with page titles is that whatever the person typed into search matches the beginning of your page title. So if you're trying to get a page to rank for weather in Bend, you want that page title to start with weather in Bend. You don't want that page title to be snowpocalypse, weather in Bend, because now you're moving those keywords farther to the right in the page title, and that will definitely affect ranking. So that's the page title bit. Start your page title with what you think people would search for to find that article. The other meta tags, the meta description is important. The meta description is hidden in the page, but it's what will show up as the 2-line snippet from that page in the search results. Google doesn't look at that for ranking, but what's written there has a huge impact on whether people click on that result or not. That's kind of the teaser that says, here's what you're going to learn if you click on this page. So carefully crafting what goes in that meta description for especially for key static landing pages like your major news category pages. So your weather page, your local business news, your sports, etc. Carefully crafting what's in there to be compelling is pretty important. Now, what does carefully crafting mean? The best way to figure out what to do there is to do a Google search for the term you want that page to rank for. So let's say the term is high school sports scores in Bend. Do that search and look at what your competitors are showing up with. And think about it from a consumer perspective is, are they saying they have something that I'm not saying I have that would be important to users? Let's say one of your competitors has in the meta description hourly updates. Okay, that's pretty cool. That means if I'm looking for high school sports scores, that site is more likely to have the results that I'm looking for from this afternoon's football game my son was in or whatever it was, right? And so look at your competitors, look what they're saying, and based on that, craft your own meta description so that you're more appealing. So that's the meta description. Google doesn't use it for ranking, but it does affect click-through rate, which means traffic. The other meta tag that people talk about is meta keywords. Google has not looked at meta keywords for probably 5 or 10 years. So it won't help you at all to stuff that full of terms like, weather, snowstorm, precipitation, temperature, humidity, whatever, if it's a weather page. If you're talking about Bing and Yahoo, which combined have maybe 10% market share, Bing and Yahoo do look at the meta keywords, but not for ranking. They look at it to see if you're a spammer. So Bing and Yahoo see your page and your meta keywords has 70 keywords in it, you're done. They're going to see that as a very negative signal in terms of your site quality. So meta keywords will not help you in Google, might as well leave them out. They can only hurt you in Bing and Yahoo, so might as well leave them out.
Gotcha. That is really, I love what you said about looking at what the competition's doing and kind of reverse engineering it, and getting the important information in there. That's
Let me
key.
go back to that one. So I have a client in Portland that sells extraordinarily overpriced furniture. Herman Miller stuff and whatever. It's stuff that I can't afford to buy, but he seems to find his customers, so that's all fine. I was looking at his meta descriptions and his competitors, and I noticed that on his site, if you buy his $15,000 couch from him, he offers free shipping. And I said, Patrick, you ought to put free shipping within the continental US in your meta description for every single page on your site.
Hmm.
And Patrick says, why would I do that? All my competitors offer free shipping too. And I said, I just did the Google search for this Herman Miller sofa you want to sell, and none of your competitors say they have free shipping. And so I didn't think it would. You'd think that'd be expensive shipping, right? So if you put free shipping in there, you're going to look like you're the only guy in the country that offers free shipping on this.
Right.
Okay, so that sort of stuff. Look at the competitors and think about it from the consumer. What does the consumer know and not know? Um,
Right. Makes sense. That's very helpful. Another question from Guy. Duplicate images. Is it best to use a different image with each social media page? I'm not sure if you mean post there, Guy. Um, but let's just duplicate images just in general.
Okay.
Is it best to
So,
avoid those?
Google has a thing called reverse image search. Um, I think if you're in Chrome, if you right click on an image on almost any page, any website, you'll see one of the options is search Google for this image. If you do that, you'll find that if you used a stock photo from Getty Images or something like that, Google in a tenth of a second or so can tell you the other 400 web pages that have used that exact same image. It might be different sizes, different image file names. One might be a PNG, one might be a JPEG. Um, Even if you alter the image and overlay text and things like that, Google can still tell it's the same image. Now, so Google reverse image search is kind of a cool trick, but why would Google even care about that? Well, here's the thing: if we're trying to decide if a given piece of content is a great piece of content about topic X, um, if it's got an image of something to do with that topic that nobody else has, well, now you've got something to make that a better page than everybody else's. If Google can detect that that image is really just something you pulled out of Getty Images, you've all seen, consulting sites where there's an image of the perfectly diverse group of people in a room pointing at a whiteboard with a chart that goes up and to the right. We all know that's just cheesy crap. It's not to do with anybody who works for the company or anything they've done or any real customers. Google's looking to try to spot that and say, I'm sorry, you don't get any brownie points for that. This picture over here instead, which is a picture of a real chart of data related to the article, or a picture of the person who's being interviewed for the story or whatever it is, that's legit content that makes that a better piece of content. So let's say you have an article about an interview with the mayor of the city. If the picture in that article is the City of Bend logo, which has been used on 1,000 other websites, no brownie points. If the picture in that is a picture of the mayor of Bend that you took, you're going to get brownie points. If you use the LinkedIn picture of the mayor of Bend, that's on 100 different websites already, no or very few brownie points for it. So that's what Google's looking to do in the search results. In terms of what gets shared in social media, I don't think it really matters. So if I really want to push something hard in social media and I had an article on my site, I would be very careful to have an original image in the article on my site. And even if that wasn't the most eye-catching best image possible, then when I shared that on social media to get more traction, I would switch over and use the more eye-catching image that wasn't an original image, because it's not going to impact social media because it's not original, but it's going to get more clicks because this is a better image. So I would split it up that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I didn't even think of that. Okay, you got time for just two more questions, Michael?
Sure.
Okay.